This is the AudioQuest NightHawk. This comes with a very nice box, leatherette, double zippered, foam padding, extra cable, 1/4-inch adapter, very nice adapter. Might be a little bit big for carry-on bags, but a beautiful little carry thing. And comes with this wrapped around it. Has everything you need to know about the AudioQuest NightHawk. I thought everybody in the world was going to be totally excited about this and jumping up and down, but reviews I read, if they were reviews, were kind of subdued, and maybe it just didn't quite sound like what people were expecting. And I don't know what they're expecting. Maybe something like a Sennheiser or a Beyerdynamic. It's not. This, when I first put it on, I thought mid-range. It just had kind of a mid-range kind of a sound. Not a very accurate description. But you've seen all the other stuff on this, so let's get into this. I did a little curve on here, and here's my curve. This shows where I reduced the lower mid-range to upper bass between about 150 to 600 hertz. I reduced it by 3 to 5 decibels in here, and so you get a warm kind of a sound there on the lower end. It's not to say that you don't have the ultra low bass, because below that the ultra low bass is full up and has great impact. I put a little emphasis in here at about 1 kilohertz because it's a little distant, a little bit shy there in terms of presence, and I think maybe if you're playing orchestral stuff that's recorded way off in the distance, maybe it'll be a little too distant, but for a lot of stuff I think it'll be just fine. Then I boosted the mid-treble here at around, looks like about 3 kilohertz, maybe about 4 or 5 decibels, and put in a little bump up here at 8 kilohertz. Now 9 kilohertz is pretty strong, 7 kilohertz is pretty strong, 8 kilohertz is a little weak. And just to make sure somebody knows that's not my hearing, I have a lot of headphones that have peaks there. So, this is compared to the average good headphone. So anyway, the thing that it's important to know, if there's a way to know that, is that underneath whatever the actual signature of the thing is, which, like I said, sounds kind of mid-rangey to me out of the box, underneath that is a smoothness that produces the best kind of musical detail. And that's important to know. I mean, I didn't have any other necessarily directly comparable headphones here. I put the PS1000E back in the back. I put the SR325E right here, because both those have a certain amount of wood in the cups, which produce a nice mellow sound. Both those are kind of highs oriented, kind of bright. This is not. This is different than that. This is, in fact, if anything, is tilted a little bit towards the right. A little warmer on the low end, a little subdued on the high end, but within just a few decibels, and tremendous sound. You're not going to know till you have a long listen to this what you're really getting, but it's very, very smooth. You can get a lot of headphones, put an equalizer on it, and flatten out the overall sound, but it's going to be grainy and choppy because you don't have that kind of smoothness built in. So I guess with the liquid wood here and the other tunings that they did, they got very, very smooth sound out of this, which is really great. The ear pads are these ultra squishy things. Trying to think, Mr. Speakers uses ear pads that are kind of similar to this. I'm sure other headphones do. The V-Moda XL ear pads are kind of a little bit like this. I think these might even be softer and squishier than they are. Not sure if these are replaceable yet. Seems like they would be. The cables detach on dual sides. And what we have is a little, this would be about a 2.5 millimeter mono plug. So, you're getting a direct input from your cable here without crosstalk. You might get with a cable that goes, one-sided all the way around like that. No problem with these getting really tangled, though, because you can just spin each one because they're detachable. So that would undo your kinks there. The rest of this, I don't know how much this is metal and how much is plastic. It's supposed to be semi-open. And I'd say there's a modest amount of isolation here, and has a tremendous sound stage. Now, a lot of people won't get that soundstage just because maybe they don't relate to the signature of the headphone, or it's not bright enough for them or something. Try bumping it up a little bit and see what you get. Don't be afraid to do that. The sound underneath all that is very high quality. We have a fabric on the inside of this headband here, and then leather on the top side. And this wire that goes around here is almost kind of like the headphone cable with a fabric covering, but it's got metal inside, so it's stiff. But what happens here, this is just a one-size-fits-all. You put it on your head and then just pull down. Fits me pretty easily, so I imagine it'll be fit a range of heads, probably about at least half an inch bigger and smaller on either side of me, which cover about 90% of people out there. And like I said, there's a couple cables. One is for some reason they gave two cables, both extremely long, not like portable cables. This one here is very thin, unbelievable. It's just like if I can get this apart here, as you can see, it's just okay. There we go. You can see how skinny this one is and how thick this one is here. Why they did those that way, I don't know, but they tell you in their literature why. But well, anyway, it's kind of flat too. It's a fabric, and it kind of like a lot of these Kevlar coated cables, except it's kind of flat, and then it's twisted around. Maybe I did that, or being rolled up in a box did that, but it is kind of a flat cable. Supposedly this is made for best possible sound, and it works for me. Got a right-angled conventional mini plug here, so you don't get any of these, Apple phone controls here. Anyway, good cable, perfectly made for home use. There's the pads are pretty deep, so the fact that there's a plate of some kind in here where your ears would eventually contact, I think it's deep enough that that's going to bother very few people. I always tell people how much I like these things that I buy because I pay so much for them. And I didn't have an opportunity for any kind of free sample. Nobody offered me one. I didn't ask for one. So I bought the first one that came out, and that was just a few days ago. The other people I asked recently were the Master and Dynamic people, but apparently their marketing department didn't feel that I was worthy of reviewing their headphones, so got the AudioQuest instead, and I'm very glad I did. This is a really, really nice headphone. So anyway, I would say if you're interested in this headphone, it is $600, so it's not cheap. Be prepared to spend some time with it and get adjusted to the sound, because, well, I mean, I got the Grado to a couple of Grados here. I got a couple of Beyerdynamics in the house, Sennheiser, whatever, and they all sound way different. And this sounds different too. This is not like a Sennheiser 600, which is that classic neutral flat. No, it's a little more subdued in the highs and has a little more in the upper bass. But just a superb sound, and I highly recommend that if a person is interested in this, that they make whatever adjustments necessary to be happy with it, because you will love it. It's just looks nice. It's great to wear and has a very smooth sound. So anyway, there we are. AudioQuest NightHawk headphone. I recommend it. Thank you.